What a start to the new year. I hope you wasn't on the road New Year's Day. If you was, I'm sorry for you. Because I mean, think about it. Imagine you didn't know your tail light blown. Police stop you on the road, tell you, hey, you know your tail light blown. No, officer, I didn't know that. I'm going to fix that tomorrow. You know what, as a matter of fact, I have balls in my glove compartment. I'm going to change it now. Now, don't break the law. Hold this ticket for $2,000. You get that ticket for $2,000 for something that you didn't know was blown. Something that you could have rectified right away. And the icing on top of that cake is, when the police will give you the ticket for $2,000 drive off, you realize that only one of his light in the back working. One light working. But you just get a ticket for a blown tail light that you could have come out your car and fix in 5 minutes. Happy New Year! I don't want to talk about that today. Today is a different topic, right? Today, we're going to talk about, or we're going to touch on the statement that the Prime Minister made when she said that Trinidad is a lawless dump. What kind of leader does say that about their own nation, though? This is your country, you're the leader of this nation. And for you to say that Trinidad is a lawless dump, you don't think that partially at least reflects on you? I want to talk about exactly the words that come out she mouth or what she says here, because let me be real, right? This is not the first time something like this happened. Remember back when Dr. Rowley was the Prime Minister and somebody asked about the crime situation and his response was, who dead? Who could forget when Coleman Booth was on the TV station and they asked him about the raising gas prices, and he said, yeah, I raised the gas prices 3 times already and nobody riot yet. So, I'm going to raise it that 4th time. I'm going to raise it 1 more time. I will see if they can riot. And then he laughed at the public.
The price of fuel by 15%. I then realized that was not enough. I came back again in April and I raised it again by 15%. And I came back again just a few weeks ago and raised it by another 15%. They haven't rioted yet. So I might raise it by another 15% in April of next year.
And he feels comfortable doing that. So I'm not here to talk about what exactly they say, not as yet. The bigger question I want to ask is, why do the people in power, the people who run in the country, the people who we elect to put the best Trinidad forward, feel so comfortable in speaking to the public this way? Because back in the day, when Dr. Rowley made that statement that he made, right? I think it was a news reporter who asked him about the crime situation and he was like, who dead. And people was angry. A lot of people laughed it off as a joke, but it had a whole group of people. I didn't want to say the opposition, but it was majority of the opposition who was like, how the ass the Prime Minister, the leader of a nation, could bring themselves to say that about the crime situation that going on in the country. You addressing the public. How you could say that? But let's be honest, this behavior did not begin with the previous PNM government and it will not end with this present government. Because if you're old enough, I'm sure you could remember when Jack Warner was like, hey, ask your mother.
Mr. Warner, what about the money that South African government gave you?
Ask the mother. Ask the mother.
That was a whole big thing. We even had people printing t-shirts and selling with the slogan, ask your mother on it. Touching back on the first thing I talk about, right? Who could forget when, Coleman Booth said, I raised gas 3 times. We had to ask yourself, right? It's not what he said. Yeah, what he said bears some weight to it. But the question is why he feels so comfortable saying that on national TV when he know the whole nation going to see that. What gave him the confidence to say that, knowing that there would not be any repercussion because there wasn't? Initially, everybody gave X. Why he say that? Why Dr. Rowley say that? Why Auntie Kamala say that? By the time this video dropped, I sure majority of people already forget about that. But the underlying fact again is, why do these people who we elect, right? Let me draw a reference right now. Let me draw a reference based on this present government. Let me draw a reference, right? Past administration was there for around 10 years. For more than 10 years, somebody begging you for a job. Think about it, reframing it in this way. For more than 10 years, somebody begging you for a job. Give me the opportunity to show you how I could change your company for the better. 10 years they're begging you for that. You realize that the portfolio that you have right now, they're working out. It had leaks in the system, the budget they're adding up. we need to find a solution to this problem. So you decide on the 10th year, you know what, I'm going to give this person a chance. They're behind me for the last 10 years. Give me a chance, give me a chance, give me a chance. And as soon as I give them a chance, they turn around and say, hey, this place is a freaking lawless dump. What are you going to do? As a person who give that other person the opportunity now to lead your company, what are you going to do? You're going to allow that to happen? You're going to allow that person to speak to you that way, the person who gave them the opportunity? But that's what is going on in Trinidad, right? Everybody just allow it. It's nothing that how it is go. Because think about it. These are public servants. Get named public servant for a reason. To remind the people who hold in these positions in authority that they are servants of the public. Their salary comes from taxpayer dollars. Your money, my money, everybody else's money but theirs. They get tax exempted vehicles imported because of us, because of the public paying, so that they don't have to pay that tax on the vehicle. You want to spin around and talk to we like we owe you something? Like we's your children? Like you want to cut we ass and you have nothing to show for it? Think about what's going on in the country right now. On the first day of the year, how much revenue was generated? Because think about it, 50 tickets at $2,000 each is how much? 100 tickets at $2,000 each is how much? How much roadblocks were set up across the whole nation? Yet still, we had 2 murders on that day. So where are your priorities? The police service, the government. Where are your priorities in finding the 99% law-abiding citizen because he can't afford to fix the tires on the car? Or he can't afford to fix the crack on the windscreen? Or because he was unaware that a tail light blown, and then you, as a people who we elected to put in governance, could turn around and say something like, this is a lawless dump? What gives you the right to make that statement? Isn't this partially your responsibility, at least, as the Prime Minister? And your solution to that is to go against the very words that you run and win on. The platform that you built your entire run to office on and you won on. Because I'm going to post the picture right here for you to see again, for the people who telling me that fines are not taxation. Your very Prime Minister, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, when she was sitting in the opposition, made the statement that fines are just like tax, right? Tell me how you could make a statement and run on a platform like that. To come and do the same thing plus 100%, then call the citizens lawless, then call this place a lawless dump, but refuse to actually target the real crime. 2 murders on the first day of the year, but all the police focus was on generating revenue. That is where all the police focus was on. A roadblock here, a roadblock there, a roadblock everywhere. Make money. Because according to the previous Prime Minister, even though this present Prime Minister mightn't make this sentiment allowed, who they're dead, right? Money had to make. I want to thank everybody who watched the previous video, who like, who comment, who subscribe especially. Love all a lot. But I see in my previous video a lot of comments who saying that officers not using their discretion. And these are a tough one, because you're literally asking that from stupid people. If these officers could have used their discretion, we would not be in the situation right now. Especially when it have an award for the officer who give the most amount of tickets. The man who gave 1,400 tickets in 6 months, he won an award. So there's a game to them. My advice to you is go to work, come back, and try and stay off the roads as much as possible, because I don't see this getting better. Anyway, we stay off the topic that we start on. But at the end of the day, the majority of people who voted these people in power, they voted for change. They voted for what they thought would be a shift in the dynamic of the way the country was running and the trajectory of where the country was going, especially when it comes to road traffic fines, crime, getting US dollars. I mean, JMME just recently dropped their credit card limit to $100. It was $200. They dropped it to $100 US. So the availability for citizens to live freely being cut literally in half. while the fines doubling. This is not the change that I think these people vote for. And some of them realizing it. If most of them still want to play party loyalty, most people realizing it, that this is not the change that they voted for. But we need to ask ourselves a serious question, myself included, because I was going to make a video, and tomorrow I'm going to make a video on the next news topic, and so it's going, right? Are we partly to blame for this? Because we don't say nothing, and because we don't say nothing, or we don't make an attempt to correct these instances, these people see it as permission to continue the behavior. It's like a child. If you don't correct a child behavior, the child will see that as permission to continue that behavior. I want to leave with one question and one question alone. And I'd like if you could answer in the comment section below. Do you think we as a country allow this disrespect from the government to reach the stage? Do you think that we are to blame for these people feeling so comfortable and speaking to the public in whichever way they want without repercussions? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Once again, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. For them followers reviews, it's Jeremy, and I'll see everybody in the next one. Later.